I'm gonna read a post by Jay Lewis, aka Lil JJ. He posted on Facebook, "Just Jordan got canceled. I ain't giving up no ass. LOL." This is I kind of want to open this up because there's a whole thing going on right now with child actors.
Back in the mid-2000s, a young boy stepped into the spotlight and instantly became one of the hottest names in comedy and television. His real name is James Charles Lewis III, but the world came to know him as Lil JJ. For a moment, it felt like nothing could stop him. He was everywhere: Nickelodeon, stand-up shows, music videos, even dropping his own rap album. But years later, fans were left asking the same question: what happened to Lil JJ? To find the answer, we need to go back to where it all began. Lil JJ was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. Like many kids his age, he grew up dreaming big. But unlike most, he had the spark, the charisma, and the sharp timing that made people stop and laugh. At just 13 years old, his life changed forever when he entered BET's comedy talent show, Coming to the Stage. This wasn't just any talent search. It was one of the biggest platforms for up-and-coming comedians at the time. And change his life? It did. Lil JJ went from a kid in Arkansas to a national name, winning the competition and instantly becoming one of comedy's brightest young faces. His victory caught the attention of Nickelodeon, the biggest platform for kids' entertainment in the 2000s. They saw potential, and they moved fast. Lil JJ was cast in All That, Nickelodeon's iconic sketch comedy series that had already launched names like Kenan Thompson and Amanda Bynes. His presence was electric, his humor sharp, and kids loved him instantly. But Nickelodeon didn't stop there. They gave him something even bigger: his own sitcom, Just Jordan. The show followed the life of a teenager navigating the challenges of moving to Los Angeles and adjusting to a whole new world. For millions of young viewers, Lil JJ wasn't just an actor playing a role. He was Jordan, funny, relatable, and real.
President. You know what ain't right? They would never let a kid be president. Don't you think it's time they did? Grown-ups been messing up the planet for a good long time.
But Lil JJ wasn't stopping at television. He had bigger ambitions. In 2006, he dropped his debut rap album, What I Wanna Be. While it didn't storm the charts, it showed his versatility. He wasn't just a comedian. He was an entertainer. He appeared in music videos with major artists, performed stand-up, and continued acting. By the mid-2000s, it felt like Lil JJ was everywhere at once. For many fans, he looked like the next Nick Cannon, a kid who could do it all.
Y'all might be tall, but this kid got ski.
But fame in Hollywood is a fragile thing, especially for young stars. After only 2 seasons, Just Jordan was suddenly canceled. For Lil JJ, who had been riding high on success, it was the first major setback, and then came the hardest part: growing up in an industry that often doesn't know what to do with child stars once they're no longer kids. He picked up guest roles, appearing on The Secret Life of the American Teenager, Men of a Certain Age, and even making brief appearances in movies. But the magic wasn't the same. Casting directors who once couldn't wait to call him suddenly weren't picking up the phone. At the same time, his music career never really took off. While he had talent, the rap industry was already crowded with bigger names. For every step he tried to take forward, the doors seemed to close a little faster.
Anything in production was totally screwed. It had to stop entirely or work without a writer.
Lil JJ's story isn't unique. Many child stars struggle to make that leap into adult roles. Nickelodeon and Disney history is full of names who tried and failed. But for fans who grew up watching him, It was painful to see the once promising star fade from the spotlight. He was still performing stand-up here and there, still chasing opportunities. But the industry that had once embraced him was moving on to the next generation of child actors.
To college and started going, my boy went to college, like, you know what I mean? He went and did something else, like. And like, it's so crazy because of what he did in his childhood, people are frowning like, what are you doing in college?
By the 2010s, Lil JJ made a decision. Instead of clinging to the fame that was slipping away, he chose to reinvent himself. On social media, fans began noticing a new side of him. One focused on fitness, discipline, and family. And then came the biggest surprise. Lil JJ joined the U.S. Army National Guard. For a kid who once made millions laugh, this was a completely different path. But it showed something important. He wasn't defined only by fame. It wasn't the glamorous Hollywood life people once imagined for him, but it was real. It was meaningful. So what about now? Where is Lil JJ today? He may not be headlining Nickelodeon shows, dropping hit albums, or starring in blockbuster films, but he hasn't disappeared. He's still here, still creating, still sharing his journey with fans who remember him. He represents an era, the mid-2000s Nickelodeon days, when comedy and music collided in a way that felt fresh and exciting. Lil JJ's story is more than just the rise and fall of a child star. It's about growth, about choosing a new path when the old one fades, and about finding value in life beyond the spotlight. From Arkansas to Nickelodeon fame, from comedy stages to the military, his journey shows that success isn't always about staying on top. Sometimes it's about surviving, evolving, and being proud of the life you've built. This is the legacy of Lil JJ. Like, subscribe, and share your comment below.